Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
We are following breaking news overnight. A 3-year-old is safe and the child's father is now dead. Deputies say he held that toddler hostage for hours with a gun.
We were in fear that he was going to do something to that child.
What investigators say that man did to the child's mother, leading to this standoff. Plus, after a cybersecurity company's outage wreaked havoc on systems around the world, things are slowly getting back to normal at places like Orlando International Airport.
It shows how vulnerable and how interconnected are the systems that are.
Coming up, you'll hear more from that expert about what needs to be done before this technology meltdown is officially over. Good Saturday morning to you. Thanks for starting your weekend with us. I'm Christina Watkins alongside First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Our other big headline today is more storms popping up later on today. But what time?
Yeah, we're thinking about 4 to 8 p.m. in that window. So a little later, like yesterday. But it's just one of those things that's going to impact you. So plan accordingly.
Yes.
This morning, nice and quiet on a Saturday morning. Let me take you to our Tower Cam network, see what's doing in downtown Orlando. Just a couple of clouds over top of us. If you've got outdoor plans, get them done early. By 9 o'clock, 82, 91 our lunchtime temperature. And there go the thunderstorms with that start around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, but the widespread nature 5, 6, 7 p.m. All right. Outside now, 78 in Orlando, 75 degrees in the Villages, 76 up in West Volusia County. And our first warning live Doppler radar showing some rain off of the Atlantic coast, some rain out over the Gulf of Mexico. And interestingly enough, lots of lightning in these storms out here in the Gulf. You probably see them way out on the horizon if you're out and about early. They're not going to bother you, though these storms later will. 90 along the shoreline, mid-90s across the interior, and a widespread 70% coverage of rain across central Florida. But what about when in your neighborhood? We're getting brand new Futurecast data to help you plan in just a couple minutes.
All right, Eric, thanks. Let's get you back to that breaking news from overnight. A 3-year-old who deputies say was used as a human shield during a standoff is now safe. But the suspect, the child's father, is now dead. That update came in from Sheriff John Mina just hours ago. It all started around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon when deputies got a call about a man stabbing and shooting the child's mother. It happened on Colony Oaks Lane in Pine Hills. Sheriff Mina said they spent hours negotiating, trying to get him to surrender.
When our SWAT deputies breached the door because they were in fear for the safety of the child. He was holding the child as a shield and had the firearm in his hand. So they had no other choice but to shoot and kill him.
The mother of the 3-year-old who was stabbed and shot is now in critical condition. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will investigate and turn their findings over to the state attorney's office. Developing now, we have a live look at Orlando International Airport, where 24 hours ago, terminals were in shambles after a global IT outage disrupted flights and led to long lines. Passengers said it was beyond chaotic as that glitch sent airlines into a downward spiral. The software issue from the cybersecurity company CrowdStrike says it's behind all of this. But despite the hectic situation, some got lucky and the delays did not impact their vacation plans.
I am definitely relieved I was still able to get here. Thank God, because anything could have happened. We could have been late. We could have missed the boat. We could have been stuck here for no reason.
Yeah, and a lot of people did end up getting stuck. As of 10 o'clock last night, we counted about 400 delays and a little more than 100 cancellations over at MCO. But right now at 5:04, taking a live look at the flight board, you can see a much different situation. 10 delayed flights and 12 cancellations. If you are scheduled to head out of town, check with your airline first before you head out the door. Now, the ripple effects of this global tech outage can be quite scary, and you may have a lot of questions about it. WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown talked to a cybersecurity expert about the things we need to do now just in case something like this happens again. Some important information there. We've been following this global IT outage since it started yesterday morning. Many of you saw the impact it had right here on our very own station. To get alerts whenever breaking news happens, you can download the free WESH 2 News mobile app. Don't forget to turn on those notifications. It is 5:07. Let's get you to Volusia County, where a jewelry store owner is dead and a suspect is in the hospital after a shooting in a Daytona Beach store. They say an 83-year-old man pulled the trigger inside of that jewelry store on West International Speedway Boulevard. You can see it's a few blocks west of Ridgewood Avenue. WESH 2's Luana Munoz talked to an employee who says the store worker who died was their boss. Happening right now, a 16-year-old missing from Brevard County could be in danger. Take a look at your screen here. The State Department of Law Enforcement put out an alert for 16-year-old Atraya Berardi. Investigators say she was last seen wearing black Nike shorts on Acosto Lane in Rockledge near I-95 and Fisk Boulevard. She's 5'4", with brown hair, brown eyes. She may be traveling with a gray cat and a cat carrier. If you know where she is, take another close look here. Please call the Rockledge Police Department at the number right there on your screen or call 911. It is 5:09 on your Saturday morning. Let's get you out the door so we can plan ahead for what's said to be a hot but also a lovely weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's summer in Central Florida. This is just the way that it is. We just kind of have to watch the ebbs and flows in temperatures and the ebbs and flows in rain chances. And for today, we're kind of up in both categories this morning. Waking up to 70s, but we'll be to the 80s real quick. 91 degrees by lunchtime, and we'll top off at 96 with a later start to the showers and thunder showers. At this point in time, watching some moisture down over South Florida, but we're actually looking pretty good over top of us. 10 o'clock, still beautiful if you've got out and about plans today. Through about lunchtime, 1, 2 o'clock, you're fine. But notice by 2 p.m., models are trying to start popcorning up some showers, and then the thunderstorms come several hours later. So plan accordingly, my friends. With that said, looks like impact weather for us by about 5 p.m. 3 o'clock, we'll start to see the rains, but 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, widespread storms, dark skies, and that may play into several outdoor events, such as the big Orlando City game today. Let's chat more about that and discuss your Saturday hour by hour with the rest of Futurecast when I see you in just a couple minutes.
All right, Eric, thanks. We'll see you soon. One historic building in Central Florida is being torn down. Crews are demolishing what's left of the Flagler Playhouse after a fire destroyed this iconic theater.
Bittersweet. You never want to lose part of the history that is so important to so many people.
That one piece of history the community hoped engineers could keep during this process.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Sonic.
At 5:14 this morning, demolition of the iconic Flagler Playhouse is now underway. You'll remember that huge fire last year that burned the historic theater to pieces. The community hoped engineers could save part of the building like the steeple, but as WESH 2's Pamela Combe tells us, crews had to bring it down this week. And there's no timeline yet on when construction will finish, but the Flagler Playhouse president hopes all of this will be done within the next 2 years. At 5:16 this morning, let's give you a live look in Brevard County over at the port where Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas left for its maiden voyage. About 600 people lined the shoreline at Port Canaveral's Jetty Park yesterday to bid bon voyage and wave goodbye. You see that happening here. This ship is massive, 1,200 feet long. It can hold more than 5,600 people, and it features just about every kind of amenity and activity you can think of. That includes a zip line, along with 13 bars and lounges. The Utopia of the Seas, it's on its first 3-day weekend, 4-day weeknight getaway with many, many more trips planned. That sounds like the place to be.
I may be eyeballing that
I
ship
know
for
you
a
are.
little weekend getaway.
Yes.
At some point.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, it was beautiful to cruise on out of Port Canaveral last night. It's beautiful this morning for a sunrise, but I do want you to know, I want everybody to know, we're going to have storms. More storms today than yesterday. The pattern kind of ramping up just a little bit. So let's chat about it, okay? Impact weather for us from about 4 to 8 p.m. today. Just in the back of your mind, kind of plant that seed. Yes, I know, every afternoon during the summer we get storms, but it's going to get wider spread today, okay? I want to make sure you know about it. No problems this morning, though. Look at a beautiful shot. The moon here from New Smyrna Beach kind of lighting up the clouds. What a pretty, pretty start. Temperatures out the door, upper 70s, lower 80s, depending on where you are. And I'm happy to report no rain to bother us. So at least this morning, we're doing just fine. But let's plan the day, all right? 12-hour forecast showing the clouds building late morning, early afternoon. Those temperatures quick, fast, and in a hurry climbing. We'll make it to 96 in the metro today. Then the thunderstorms start getting going, all right? They're going to continue right through about sunset. And while we'll still see rain after sunset, I think the intensity of it all will start to come down just a little bit. So average highs 92. We surpassed that and then some. 96 today in Orlando, Kissimmee, 93 in the Villages, and 92 degrees Daytona Beach. The model data is actually lining up better today than we've seen the last few days, which is certainly good news. 10 o'clock, lots of sunshine on Futurecast. Starting to see those showers developing 1:30, 2 o'clock on either shoreline. Getting more active by 4 p.m., but it's not until we get this big sea breeze collision that you get those big storms. This is going to be about 5, 6, 7 o'clock right through the heart of the metro, and then just kind of staying with widespread rains through 8 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock. The showers work out west, keep the intensity down, but are still with us through about 11 o'clock. So I'd just basically say most of us are going to have a pretty good chance to see some rainfall for today, which is not the best news for soccer fans. Of course, we've got the big game tonight, NYCFC coming to town. I think the beginning of the game is definitely going to be at least storm prone, okay? Then later on, we'll look better and better and better. When we look at the forecast as a whole, today is a pretty stormy day. Coverage 70%. For tomorrow, that coverage comes down a little bit. So tomorrow is the better of the whole days if we were to look at everything kind of equally. Because while we have a ton of moisture in play, tomorrow a tropical wave actually moves to South Florida and kind of starves our area of moisture. It all wants to go down to the south. So while tomorrow we dry out just a smidge, look what happens afterward. That tropical wave arrives in Central Florida and our rain chances go back up. So it's kind of here or there. We're going to have rain each day. Today, high coverage goes down for like a minute for tomorrow and then goes right back up to the beginning of the work week.
Eric, you talk about those showers for the Orlando Pride. It is an exciting time for them. The team is looking ahead to that big match tonight, but they're also looking ahead to the Olympics. How the games in Paris could impact tonight's challenge.
Hello, everybody. I'm Zach Maskovich. We have officially reached the second half of the Major League Baseball season. The Rays finished the first half exactly .500, but the start to the second half earned them a date with one of the top teams in all of baseball, the New York Yankees. And last night, well, it just was not the Rays' night. Both teams are in action at 7:30 tonight. We will have full highlights for you coming up later tonight. That'll do it for your look at sports. I'm Zach Maskovich.
In Kissimmee, when I first started breaking, I never expected to make history in breaking culture. Victor Montalvo, breaking.
Noah Lyles, track and field. As soon as you put USA across your body, you want to see your country succeed. That's exciting.
The Paris Olympics begin July 26th. Brought to you on WESH 2 by Advent Health, champion of the human spirit.
WESH 2's Community Champion features people who make Central Florida a better place to live. Nominate your community champion on WESH.com and watch Community Champion Thursdays at 5.
Cool Today is proud to sponsor WESH 2's Community Champion.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning. It is Saturday, July 20th. I'm Christina Watkins. Here's a look at some of the top stories we're following this morning. A 16-year-old missing from Brevard County could be in danger. The State Department of Law Enforcement put out this alert for 16-year-old Atria Berardi. Take a close look here at your screen. Investigators say she was last seen wearing black Nike shorts on Acosto Lane and Rockledge near I-95 and Fisk Boulevard. She's 5'4", brown hair, brown eyes. She could be traveling with a gray cat. If you know where she is, please call the Rockledge Police Department or call 911. Well, this morning, experts are concerned about that massive IT crash. It shows how vulnerable we are and how much we rely on technology. The outage caused chaos in hospitals, airports, banks, and beyond. Over at Orlando International Airport, we counted about 400 delays and a little more than 100 cancellations yesterday. All of this stemmed from a defect in a content update from the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. The FBI now warns all of us about those scammers out there claiming they can fix any device issues if you send them your information. Do not fall for that okie doke, as the kids say. All right, out the door this morning at 5:30, let's check in with First Morning meteorologist Eric Burris.
That's a thing?
That is a thing.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Thank you.
The heat is also a thing today, as expected.
So let's get, if I use this correctly, let's get to the okie doke? Did I do that wrong?
Close.
Help me.
The weather, the rain is going to put a little okie doke in our forecast. That's the okie doke.
All right, let's take a look. Yeah, no rain this morning. Tower Cam Network is looking good. I've got to learn so many things still. So much to learn. Downtown Orlando is beautiful. Just some high, thin clouds over top. Getting into the day today, I'll tell you, the rain chances are rising. We're going to have more storms than yesterday, and it's going to get hot. 82 degrees 9 a.m., about 93 by 1. And then into the afternoon, there's the thunderstorm coverage, right? 3, 4, 5 increasing. And I think 5 to about 7 or 8 widespread and heavy downpours. So plan accordingly. I think it's going to be a little bit of a later start today, much like what we saw yesterday. Temperatures out the door, awful comfortable here in Marion County. Look at that, 73. Love that for you. 78 in Orlando, 80 degrees in Titusville. And our first warning live Doppler radar is rain-free, at least for this morning. We'll be watching it later today with widespread showers and storms. Highs right about 90 along the coastal communities, mid-90s for the interior. So let's talk about Futurecast and zero in on your Saturday forecast, all coming up in just a couple minutes.
Eric, thanks. It is 5:31 and we've got some breaking news in Orange County. A father is dead after Orange County deputies say he held his 3-year-old hostage with a gun for hours. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy joins us live this morning from Pine Hills, the neighborhood where this is all happening. Spencer, we found out early this morning that child is now safe, thankfully, but I can see behind you it is still very active.
It is, and this is a busy and typically busy neighborhood. It is quiet right now, but definitely a scary situation for these neighbors. And like you said, the sheriff deputies are still here. We actually just saw the medical examiners pull off. And the Florida Department of Law Enforcement will investigate the incident and will turn over their findings to the state attorney's office. Now, back here on scene, the sheriff's office says this still is an ongoing investigation. Of course, once we learn more, we'll update you on air and online. But what we know so far is that the 3-year-old is okay, and the mother of the child is in critical condition. We'll continue to stay on this morning. Live in Orange County, I'm Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
Such a terrifying situation, Spencer, thanks. The man accused of murdering a 13-year-old girl in Orange County will stay in jail until his trial. Deputies say Jerry Dorsey killed Rose DeJoux on July 4th. They found the teen stabbed in a closet at her apartment complex on South Rio Grande Avenue in Orlando. In court, the judge said she believes Dorsey is a threat to the community and ordered him to be held without bond. She said this is based on prior behavior, which includes child abuse. No word yet on a trial date. A dog is dead and another is safe after this apartment fire left more than a dozen people without a home here in Orlando. Firefighters say 13 people, including a baby, were in this apartment on South Cimarron Boulevard yesterday morning. A few people needed medical attention at the scene, but no one needed to go to the hospital. The Red Cross is now helping those people impacted. Ocoee police are trying to figure out how someone drowned at Stark Lake. They found a man not breathing around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. This follows after police say they also got a call there a few days ago on Wednesday after a woman saw a man in distress in the water, but they never found him. Police say they do not suspect foul play. 5:37 now. Today, the Ballots and Backpacks community event will provide students and help to get people to the polls. The Agape Perfecting Praise and Worship Center is hosting this at Dr. Junior Smith Center from 11 to 2. Backpacks are given out on a first-come, first-served basis. There's also food, games, prizes, entertainment, and voter registration information. This is free and open to everyone. Can you believe it? It is already back to school for some in Brevard County. Challenger 7 Elementary in Cocoa is now a year-round school. It's part of a pilot program with the state. The goal is to improve student achievement. But as WESH 2's Jesse Pagan tells us, there are high expectations and some concerns. Challenger 7 will have periodic 2-week breaks during the year. Their first break is in late fall. Right now, district leaders say they don't have plans to expand the year-round idea until they get more data. All right, at 5:40 this morning, let's go ahead and get you out the door with First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. A lovely start to our weekend, Eric, but we are timing out those showers.
Yeah, we've got that next round of rain coming this afternoon. I think not only will they get fired up, but a wider coverage of rain today. It's also going to be awful hot until that happens. So comfy clothes this morning, but have the umbrellas and the rain gear ready to go. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. Some showers already around Palm Beach County out into the Gulf of Mexico. Had quite the lightning display out west early this morning, but that's not going to bother us. Look at Futurecast, 10 o'clock, beautiful. If you've got outdoor plans, get it done early. Mowing the grass, heading to the beach, that sort of thing. By lunchtime, we're good, but notice just after lunch, 1, 2 o'clock, we'll get those clouds bubbling. The showers are starting at the beaches, and eventually we'll make our way to a collision of sea breezes, big thunderstorms by the afternoon and evening. So for today, 96 is our high temperature, and there is a 70% coverage of rain. It's going to get stormy later on. We'll take Futurecast through the rest of the day and help you plan your Saturday and even glance ahead to Sunday when I see you in just a couple minutes.
The vacation biz is giving Central Florida a huge economic boost, but short-term rentals may not be the best for those who live here. Coming up, we'll tell you how law enforcement officers are keeping an ever-changing community in check. Vacation rentals have been around Central Florida for decades. They became even more popular thanks to companies like Airbnb. But is this revolving door of guests good for our communities or a neighborhood nuisance? WESH 2's Meg Mulatto looks at some of the benefits and the challenges. 5:47 now. If you are in Central Florida on vacation, welcome. You are going to have a lovely weekend ahead, but you've got to map out your plans based on the timing of these showers.
Right, really important, right?
Yeah.
Because summertime in Central Florida, we get storms every day. Today, I think it's going to be a higher coverage, but it's a later start.
Okay.
So there is that bit of an adjustment. Tomorrow, lower coverage of storms. Let me take you through the journey, okay? Let's look at our weekend. Seeing the forest through the trees here, and I'm starting in the tourist district. It is all lit up. It is beautiful this morning. Temperature there, 78 degrees, and there's not much of a breeze. It's a nice, calm start. It's 75 in Palm Coast, 80 outside in Titusville, and 79 in St. Cloud. Our first warning, live Doppler radar. Looking around, thankfully not finding anything. Had plenty of rain last night over top of us, and we'll have a higher coverage, I think, tonight. So here's how the day shapes up. By lunchtime, we'll be building clouds, but I think we stay dry. 91 degrees the temperature then. 96 will be our high at 3 p.m. And that's when we start to see some showers and thunder showers going. About 4, 5, 6, 7 is when we have the widespread rains. 70% overall coverage of rainfall for today. And because of all the dynamics in play here, we're calling it an impact afternoon. 4 to 8. Expect that impactful weather for you, okay? Here's Futurecast, one of the tools that I use to make the forecast today. At 11 o'clock, we're just fine. But you already see by 1 p.m. clouds and even a few showers starting up. Then by about 5 o'clock, look at that coverage increasing. 6, 7 o'clock, you get that sea breeze collision over the metro. 6, 7 o'clock, that's when the big thunderstorms will be around. So for dinner time plans, definitely have the umbrella handy. And then 8, 9 o'clock, rains will linger, but the intensity comes down and it just kind of has to rain itself out. So plan for the active afternoon. But because of the later start to it, we get hotter today, and because of the humidity, we feel even hotter. Today's feels like temperature in Orlando, 4 p.m., 107, which is right on the border of needing heat advisories. I would say it's an extreme caution day. So whatever your plans are, okay, try to find ways to stay cool. Typhoon Lagoon certainly is going to be a great way to do that. Riding the water slides there. Building clouds lunchtime, but those storms will be firing up. And just remember, even if you're staying cool, you need to protect your skin. Okay, UV index today is nearly 12, which means you got like 10 minutes of unprotected time outside before you burn. Just keep that in mind. All right, out to the tropics we go. Tropical wave near Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. That tropical wave actually moves toward Florida and brings South Florida a ton of rainfall for tomorrow. It actually starves our rain chances a little bit. So today, 70% coverage. Tomorrow, the moisture focuses on South Florida. Will be a little drier. Then that tropical wave moves our direction Monday, Tuesday, and brings up the rain coverage. Bottom line, though, you see it. It's a nice summer's pattern for Central Florida.
Yes, it is. That's why you got to keep the WESH 2 News app handy. Eric, thanks. Coming up after the break, solving the housing crisis can start with the smallest steps. We'll tell you about an idea in Volusia County helping people find their own space to call home. City leaders in DeLand are trying to solve the affordable housing crisis with tiny homes. This week, they looked over a draft of regulations so developers can create those tiny home communities. But first, they have to update the city's codes and ordinances. Right now, the city's requirements make this plan difficult and also quite costly. That's why city leaders plan to work on a separate regulation just for tiny homes.
We're really just trying to, again, make something that would fit within our city, but also something that would be affordable.
If they don't do something about it, we're going to have more homeless people.
It'll be about 2 to 3 months before city council leaders vote on this proposal. Not a bad idea. 5:54 now, nearly 4 million families in Florida suffer from food insecurity. That's why the state's largest food bank is trying to tackle that one giveaway at a time. Farm Share is giving away free produce and canned goods today in Claremont. It's a drive-through, so you will have to be in a car that has a trunk or a cargo bed with it. It starts at 9 o'clock this morning at 2757 Citrus Tower Boulevard. It'll last until they run out of food. Central Florida's animal shelters are working overtime to find forever homes for our furry friends. The Lake County Animal Shelter says it is in crisis mode right now. They operate best when they have about 100 dogs, but right now they're caring for more than 200.
They are coming in so much more quickly than we're able to place them, and that has led to an increase in our shelter census that we haven't seen since following Hurricane Irma in 2017.
Wow, so to help clear the shelter, they are waiving adoption and reclaim fees. You can also foster some of these dogs if you cannot adopt. The Lake County Animal Shelter will be open today and tomorrow from 1 to 5. And in Orange County, Animal Services will also waive adoption fees this weekend because they too are taking care of so many dogs. They've had to manage more than 200 dogs over the last few weeks. The shelter says part of this is because stray pets keep coming in and more than 275 people are trying to surrender their dogs. The shelter asks anyone who finds a lost pet to try and find the owners before bringing it to the shelter. Wow. All right, at 5:56 now, coming up at 6 o'clock this morning, a technology glitch is now causing so many problems worldwide. How experts say we can prevent something like this from happening again. Plus, we continue to follow breaking news out of Orange County. Deputies brought a standoff to an end, and they saved a 3-year-old who was held hostage. What investigators say his father did before using the toddler as a human shield.
Closed captioning is sponsored by The Flooring Center.